Hello all the Jeffrey Rig fans out there. On the next video, I've got it's just a simple video. I just something I made. Made a tack panel, like a gauge panel for the car to put a tack in it. I didn't get to get it wired. I had the baby today, so. But I wanted to put some kind of content out, so we'll go ahead and have this out. Also, we've got a car show coming tomorrow. We'll be filming it. So look for that video to pop up. And if you're out in Hazard tomorrow, come by the recovery center there, Mountain Comp Recovery Center. I'll be there. I'll be filming everything. So come by and say hi. Since the arthritis has really kicked my butt for the past like day and a half, and we're right here waiting on a better flower tool since mine bit the dust. What I get for buying a cheap one. I figured we'd do something just a little easier tonight. These cars from the factory, the only gauge you got was the gas gauge and the speedometer. So, you know, you want to be able to monitor an engine, especially something this vintage. So, the little tip I saw, you saw the picture on the site there. I pulled out the little CB thing here. It was under the dash. It's kind of dark in there. Let's see if we got a light. Let's put a light on the subject. Illuminate. Little juicing action there. So, get my light. Alright. So, right here I had a little CB thing. I took it out. And what I'm going to do is do 3 tri-gauges there. I've also got the right there pulled apart because the clock didn't work. And I figure it's more important to know how many RPM I'm pulling than what time. So I'm going to make a panel there that's going to look factory and put a tachometer in it. I've got the tach laying back here. So the good thing about that is I've already got illumination wires. I've also got a ground right there. And there is a 12-volt source, but it's not switched, so we will have to run a 12-volt switch source. First plan of action with this, or plan of attack, I guess we would say, is I've got a Rice Krispie box. And as cool as it would be just to make a hat out of it, or walk around in just your underwear in this, I'm actually going to use it to make a template. And then I'm going to cut, once I make the template, I'm going to take and cut out the a piece of metal to mount the tack on. Once I do that, I'll just screw the tack in there and it's going to look like it's a factory option. Even though these cars from the factory didn't have tacks, they was not even available for any kind of extra gauges for these cars. You got 3 little lights that lit up if something went bad, and by then the motor was blowed up, or it's overheated, or your alternator was gone, or whatever. So, take this cardboard, make a template, we'll transfer it to steel. Actually, it's aluminum is what I got. I'm going to paint the aluminum black so it looks just like it fits right into the factory panel. And we'll mount it up in the car. Alright, so there's the factory clock that I took out. pretty cool. I would actually wish I could find somebody that would actually make this into a tachometer. Like a custom company that could do it and change the face out and make a new face, but make it look just like that. I haven't found anybody that really wants to take that on yet. So for now, this will work. So what I'm going to do is just take an ink pen, come around it, something like that. Now I'm going to make the other panel just a hair bigger, and then trim off. Yeah, that looks really terrible. Probably shouldn't drink PBR before I start doing this, but you know, it'll work. Just cut it out. Box cutter, and I'll run my lines pretty straight in the box cutter because I can do that. Well, I can do. I can cut pretty decent with a box cutter. Lay enough drywall, you'll learn how. And the beauty part about this is most of this is going to be hidden anyway. So it's not like you're going to see, like if I get off a little bit bigger on a line back and under it. As long as, because the panel goes over it and hides everything. And it's just like, you know, when you was a kid, you know, playing the box cutter in a cardboard box, you know, and drinking beer. That's you know, children things. But seriously, I mean, it's like, you know, when you was in school and you'd cut stuff out of paper and make stuff. I mean, that's, I guess, I don't know. Probably rambling. You know, I bet a new box cutter blade here would, utility knife, whatever you want to call it. For all you people, it's got to be proper. We got a utility knife. But I bet one of them would make this job a lot easier on me. But you know what? Why? When I can make it a challenge. Good enough. So I've got something. See how bad it looks. Okay, it looks delicious because it's got a Rice Krispie treat on the front. It's a little bigger right there. See what it looks like if I take it and stick it in the car. It's going to look like a Rice Krispie treat, obviously. But here we go. Oh, let's fall. I promise, children, I've not even drunk a third of a beer. So, I mean, I think that will work. Like I said, I need to make this one ear, these two ears that come down where the bolts go in, just a hair longer, but all in all, that's going to work. So now what I'm going to do is take my Sharpie and draw a mustache on my face. Wait a minute, I've already got one, never mind. Maybe like some fake glasses, even though I got real ones. No, but seriously, I'm going to trace out, trace out. Trace out. Trace out there. And I'm going to come out here with these. Just because I want them a little longer. And the reason I think these are not 100% sticking out like I did, even though I traced them pretty close. Well, this is a simple fact. That the things are bent to hold the screws in, so I think that was why it's not 100%. So now gotta figure out a plan of attack to cut this. Unfortunately, my bandsaw is not here. That would have been the easiest thing. I do have a jigsaw, so I may try that. We'll see. Alright, so my last left on working on these gauges. I drawed this out, and then that's the last I've got done. So I'm going to cut that out. The easiest thing is this metal blade on a jigsaw. I'm going to trim this piece out with the jigsaw on this piece of tin I got here. It's aluminum. Don't remember now. I bought it at Lowe's. It was back in the sheet metal. And that's that. I mean, I think that'll work. Granted, like I said, I'll have to clean the edges up and all that stuff, but I think that's going to work. Because, I mean, I did it. Like I said, the panel's smaller than the actual thing. So, I'm going to go ahead, smooth all this up, body work it out just a little bit with the hammer and dolly here to get it nice and flat. Drill my holes here. We'll bend it up, see how it sets in the car. So, took it on the bench grinder here. Just ground it out. Got pretty much the shape. Like I said, it don't have to be perfect because there's a trim piece that goes all around it. If it was, you know, something that you're really going to see, I probably would have spent a lot more time on it. I am going to beat it back straight with a hammer and dolly here. Just make sure it's good and flat. However, it's not going to be anything you'll see. And it's going to be painted, you know, gloss or semi-gloss black. So it's going to be hidden. And there's going to be a tack about that big in it and a little toggle switch. So, you know, it's not like you're going to see a lot of this. But I'll knock this back all nice and clean. And then we'll go ahead and cut it for the tack and the switch. Alright, so I got it pretty good. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to set and body work this for 2 days. For something that's really you're not going to see. Because like I said, the trim is this big. So I might throw a little filler primer on it, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and get a hole saw and some drill bits and drill these 2 out, cut all this out, and I'll film that and show you. Alright, so I got it punched. I'll just pilot hole it with this. And then we'll grab a bigger drill bit up here. Bigger drill bits. Let's see. About that big will do it. Like I said, it again, that don't have to be exact either because we can always put a washer over it or whatever. Just as long as it's good enough to get, and I want a little slack to get those screws in. Because, like I said, it's not 100%. Anyway, there's those.
Shooting out the walls of heartache. Bang, bang. I am the warrior. They should use that as an ad, shouldn't they? High dollar stuff from Harbor Freight, you know. Alright, let's try this again. Put drywall screws in it. That's the best thing I can think of. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so the hole is cut. And the tack should slide on in. I'm gonna have to clean up them threads a little bit, but I'm gonna have to water her out a little bit. I believe that's gonna work. Alright, so I'm gonna have to oblong this out just a little bit because this lip right here on this tack, I cut it for the right size, but you know. So one of the tools that actually survived the flood. For some reason this thing survived. And there we go. And I'll show you what it's going to look like in the car here. Minus, you know, there's no paint on it yet or filler or nothing like that. But just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. And then once it's screwed in like that, it'll look like that. And the whole back side will be painted black, this tin, and the trim goes around it. So you're not going to see nothing but pretty much this tack and this little toggle switch I'm putting right here. So this should look like something that rolled out of GM when I get done. Here, for toggle switches, I just bought a pack of these real cheap ones that you buy online from eBay, Amazon, wherever you buy your usual stuff. I originally was going to do an amber switch, and I may still do that. I think I am going to do an amber switch. I think the amber will look better on this car. I'm trying to keep everything so it looks like something that came from the factory. I do not want anything that deters from the look of the car. Well guys, I got it, but I didn't think about that. So I'm just decided now, I'm not going to make a new piece. Instead of painting it, I'll just go get a piece of vinyl wrap it. Work just the same. Black vinyl, that color vinyl. Just stick it over it. You'll never know the difference. I think I've actually got some laying over here. Probably easier than painting it anyway, as long as it works, you know. But I'm gonna drill another hole in it just for fun because I screwed up. So, you know, mistakes happen. And that, you know, that's the cool thing about metal. Hey, you can put, you know, always do something with it. Y'all get to see I'm not a pro at this at all. I'm just a guy that loves cars, loves building stuff, and that's, but I'm not a genius with them. I just love them, if that makes sense. You know, and I do the same with woodworking. I love it too. So I just like to be out here doing something productive. And that's what I try to teach kids. You know, the best thing you can do is do something productive all the time. A lot of you now, they don't get into things like this, and it's sad, really, because I mean, you know, I spent my days as a kid. I was always fixing something, working on something, messing with something, be it a bicycle or whatever. But, you know, this modern generation, they just don't have the desire like mine did, I don't think. And maybe, hopefully I see some of them get into this stuff, and that'll work. Once we vinyl wrap that, yeah, that'll be fine. Yep, that's gonna look really good. So I'm gonna try to find some vinyl wrap. I don't know how good this is. I've got some here that we had for a vinyl cutter, but it might be a little too shiny for my use. Yeah, I think it'll work. Yeah, we might go to town. I gotta go to work anyway, so we might just go try to find a piece of something back in the automotive at Walmart that will work, or the crafts. But, you know, I'll be pleased with it once it's done. I'll wrap it, and that'll be a wrap. But we'll wrap that with some vinyl where I messed up on that hole. You'll never see it. And then we'll put the tri-gauges under the dash and wire those up. Run all the cinders and everything. We still like the HEI. We still like the front shocks. And that really is the things to make the car really complete until fall. Except maybe that I might tear into the heater core and just do it because it is leaking. But I have it cut off for now. I mean, it's 90 degrees out. We don't need heat, air conditioner or heat right now. All we need is air conditioner. And the air conditioner works flawlessly. So that, we may do a video on that later. I am going to start on a Subaru before I even attempt anything like that. I've also got Dad's Chevy out here. I got to put a brake line on it. But we may attempt that and a few other little things on this car in the future. But before fall, just because they need done. But we're going to bring the Subaru in here. It's getting fuel pump and body worked, and then we'll get back on this. Okay, I went to Walmart, found this for a Cricut cutter. It's a few dollars. It's about the color I need. I'm gonna trim this out with it. I'm hoping none of these lines will show. I might need to I think that's gonna be behind the trim, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, all that's going to be behind the trim, as you can see. So, you know, once we wrap it, we'll put it in the car. And I'm going to get started wrapping it. Alright. I'm bored to cut it out on, but if you'll notice, I'm outside right now. I've got a helper here. Don't know how good a mechanic she is, but she is learning hard. First things first, I'm just going to cut out a piece just bigger than the thing, like so. Yep. I need a better blade, I'm telling you. Alright, so that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to unpeel it and just wrap this around it. Trim off the edges and whatever I need to do. Nice. Mind the truck. Yeah, flower? Okay. Okay. And there's that, if y'all can see that. Then I'm going to cut it out and put the little toggle switch in here. Like so. And there's that. So, there's the finished product of that. And let's see if I can get it where show you how it's going to look. Oops. Now this tach's got to set a little bit behind. That's the way this is made. I may have to trim this little piece out or recess it a little further. But that's how it's going to look. Like I said, that's going to look like it come out of the factory. So let's go put it in the car right quick just to see how it looks. Not sure how well that looks on camera. There we go. I got some foam that's going to go around where this, because the gap on these clocks like real deep, which I need it for this tach. But once I put some foam around back there, it's going to look really, really good. I'm really pleased with it. I believe I could have cleared that switch the first time actually though. But I mean, I'm pleased with that. That's going to look real factory like. So I gotta take it back out and wire it up, but you know, it's in there. All right, everybody, there's the finished product. I just took some foam, went around the edges. I think it looks really good. I mean, it ain't 100%, but I can live with it. So go under the car here. I mentioned there's some driving lights. I bought some of these cheap like bar lights off eBay. And I know what you're thinking, oh, those are gonna look terrible. They're not if you put them back in here hidden. So that's where those are gonna live. Back behind that grill where you can't see them. But it'll give me extra light when I need it. Make sure we don't wipe out a deer or something in the middle of the night. Because it's happened to me a couple times. So we'll get those in when we do the rest of this wiring. All right, guys, I'm just gonna stop the video right here. Wiring is really, I may do another one on wiring later too. I don't have any of the red spade connectors or crimp connectors small enough for the wire that I need, and I'm not driving all the way to Azure today. I've got to go tomorrow. I'm going to go to the car show. Car's fine, so we'll pick that up on a later date. But you get to see what I was going for, and I'll put it on. I'll upload this one here in just a little bit, and you'll be able to see it.